Hey bookwormies, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to today's video. Today we're doing another talking video. This is going to be kind of similar to a talking video that I did a while back, so, and if you guys enjoyed that last video and you'll enjoy this one, I will continue doing them because I personally really enjoy talking about these things. And I do a lot of reading vlogs. That is a lot of what you see in this channel, so I feel like this could be something fun to do more often, talking about certain things. So today specifically, I'm going to be going over some bookish trends slash things. These aren't exactly like specific trends. These are like talking about certain stuff that you might see on the internet. I'm not going over how sometimes there was this whole thing where this guy was being accused of murder or something, and then the BookTok community went crazy, because of dark romance and stuff. That I'm not talking about specifically. I'm talking about different topics. I'm talking about a few specific things that I see on the internet, and they're okay. And sometimes I'm subjected to some of these, okay, guys, but not usually. Okay, I try not to. First, this is not one that is necessarily a bad thing, but it is the popularity of romantasy. Romantasy, if you don't know, is romance with fantasy, and specifically, these fantasy books are a bit more romance-based rather than your classic fantasies where it's mainly fantasy with maybe a sprinkle of a love interest. Okay? And I feel like over the past few years, this is not something totally new. This is not something you've just seen around. Now, it's been here for quite a while, where it's been getting very popular with a whole very romancy-based fantasy book. Sometimes they're very sweet, very cute. Sometimes they're more spicy, sometimes even smutty. If you don't know the difference between spice and smut, that is, spicy is just when it's used as maybe an extra thing towards a book that can be added on. Sometimes it adds some emotional depth. Smut is just when it's there, and it's a lot of times, okay? So yeah, where was I going with this? But I've been seeing for the past few years a lot of romantasy books. Some of them I have enjoyed myself. I'm not gonna lie here and tell you guys, no, I've hated every romantasy book I've read, because I haven't. A lot of them are pretty good, but some of them I feel like at least now when I'm reading fantasy books and I'm trying to find a new five-star favorite, because guys, I've noticed I haven't had a new fantasy favorite in a while, but I read books and I don't think I don't see if it's romantasy or just fantasy or just romance, I just look, oh, it has a fantasy, I'm gonna read it. And I read it, and then sometimes these books can seem so similar, and there's a billion books in the world, right? So obviously ideas are going to get repeated a few times. They're going to seem a bit similar, but they're not going to be exactly the same. Some cases, there have been where books have been copied and pasted between authors, and it's just crazy and insane, but I'm not talking about that. If you want that, I can talk about all sorts of BookTok drama that have been going on over the past, year, let's say, 2025, if you guys want a video like that. I'll be happy to do that, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how, so many books are so similar to each other to have the same baseline, and then they just add something on top to change things. Obviously names, I'm not saying they're exactly the same. Books most of the time aren't exactly copy pasted, unless if that was the purpose of the author, to just copy paste with what is currently trending. But usually it's just they seem very similar in a way, and for me they just seem boring at some point. Some points I can oh yeah, I kind of have a feeling this is gonna happen, then it happens. It's kind of like when you read a lot of thrillers with a specific author or something, you can kind of guess how they're gonna reveal a certain thing that happens, how they're gonna do this. So there's that. I don't know. Sometimes with the popularity of romantasy, it has brought a lot of amazing books, a lot of books that I won't deny are great, but sometimes it has just been oh my god, this is going crazy. This is so popular. This is so big right now, and this is just so too much, So yeah, there's just that. I don't know how to explain it, guys. I don't think romantasy is a bad thing. It's just been very, very popular, but most of the time the books are really good. So I don't know. These topics are not necessarily anything bad, okay, right? Some of these things over here can be something nice, something good, but some of these are just mainly popularity of romantasy. This topic specifically I want to talk about, it is one that is pretty neutral. Yes, it has brought some very similar books to the community, but it has also brought a whole new world, a whole new spectrum of books that just are honestly amazing. I can't complain about them because I enjoy a lot of these romantasies that I see. So, there's that. Next, I want to do romanticizing reading. This is not one that is bad at all, because as BookTok has become popular, specifically when TikTok was created and the BookTok community was created, BookTube started to become more popular. Bookstagram, I feel started to become more popular, and because of that, a lot of people had really come into community reading, because I feel before COVID, before TikTok really became a thing, reading was a thing, but I honestly felt it would have become extinct at some point. At that point, there were phones, there was social media, and why would you need to read a piece of fiction when you could just watch a video instead, or watch a movie? A lot of times that how I That's how I feel like it felt. Don't ask what's going on in his head. But as TikTok became a thing and became really popular, BookTok surfaced in, and I feel like that's when, like, BookTube was already created, I feel like, before TikTok. I didn't watch BookTube during that time because, I don't know, like, for me, it was just, I was reading books that I saw in my school library, and I was like, oh yeah, this seems fun. Like, I didn't really have I wasn't watching BookTube videos. I was in the art community then, okay, guys? But don't worry, I was still in a way. Though I'm still sort of in the art community. And, I'm straying off topic. This happens a lot when I'm talking. But, like, but as books start to become more popular, start to become romanticized, and where people are going out of their way to read, going out of their way to really, and it just shows how it can bring a whole new community together, which is something that I absolutely love. Like, something like that came good out of all social media is that it brought reading back a lot more. I feel like as social media became popular, sometimes it started to become, like, reading became less popular, but then it was brought back, and now it's, like, as healthy as ever. Like, you can find now a billion different YouTubers that are talking about, or TikTokers, or Instagrammers, is that how, or just social media influencers that are specifically in the book community, and that's just so fun to see. So I don't think this is a bad thing, romanticizing reading, but it sometimes does bring the thing where, like, it's more for the follows or more for the aesthetic rather than the reading. I've seen that a bit, but I don't know. And that's kind of what I kind of wanted to get into with this next point, which is how you read, where you start setting up this cozy setup just to read, like, 5 pages. And it's just, like, investing all sorts of, like, these materialistic things, like maybe, like, a big stand for your Kindle, which, you know, I'll go into a bit more later. But, it's just to create a mood. Like, you'll put string lights everywhere just for the video. You'll buy these candles that are super expensive because they look aesthetically pleasing. You'll buy these things just to set up this cozy setup and then just read 5 pages. It's where influencers, like, this is not, for those that aren't, like, posting online about these things, then obviously you probably don't do that, unless if that's how you like to do it, and that's totally fine. But sometimes I feel like influencers do that on the internet where they, like, you know, where they set up, like, they do a little setup video to start reading, where they'll take a super expensive candle, light it up just to diffuse it a second later, where they'll take, like, I don't know, like, a drink that they actually despise, but it's something that's popular, because, like, I feel like matcha is very, very popular. I personally, maybe I tried it once, I'm not sure if that was a matcha or not, but I think I liked it, I don't remember, okay, don't ask what's in his head, but, like, it became very viral, but in some cases, people feel obligated to like it for the aesthetic and because it's getting popular. Like, with coffee, it's just, like, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, they'll take this drink and that I actually hate, but it's something that is, like, trending, or that people, like, are like, oh my god, she's so fancy there, and, like, they'll pour it just to pour it down the drain or give it to a friend, which I hope they give it to a friend and not, like, throw it away, because that's just kind of sad. Or they'll, like, put, like, these string lights, and then they'll, like, take them off a second after they film the video. They'll put these new bed sheets or, like, blankets on top just to put them away because you're scared of getting them dirty afterwards. Like, you do all these things for a video, but then you take it off, and it's just, like, sometimes it shows, like, a certain precedent where you're like, yes, I should make my space a certain way, very aesthetically pleasing, just because, like, with no reason behind it. Like, obviously, I love decorating. I wish, honestly, that I had, like, string lights in my room, because I feel like it would bring so much more color, but, like, a lot of these decorations, though, in my room are not seasonal at all. They're just crazy colors everywhere. Like, when I got into this house, I was like, yep, I'm decorating this room. I'm making it, like, the craziest you could ever see it, but, like, I don't go out to make it super aesthetically pleasing just to film a video. Like, actually, just, like, my mom was on this thing, and she, like, got this candle for free, and she was like, hey, do you want it? I was like, yes, let's put it in my room. Haven't lit it up. It's just literally by my bedside table, because I thought it looked cute, but, like, nobody looks there. Nobody can even see it there. It's just on my bedside table, and it's doing nothing. It's doing no service, but maybe one day I'll use it. It's just I'm mainly scared that, like, I'll lean over to grab something over it, and then, like, something will catch fire. You know, I feel like that could totally happen to me. That is something that I could totally imagine happening. So that's why it's there. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I've been subjected to where I feel like I want to make something aesthetically pleasing, but obviously I've stopped myself, as you can tell, but, yeah. That's the main idea. I don't know where I'm going with this, but, you know. Next, this is one that I actually hate. This is, like, there's no way to sugarcoat it or make it sound cute, because it isn't, and it's something that is annoying me, and this is something with our new generations, with every new year, new things get created that are so good, right? They can be such a great service to the universe, but then it also creates this, okay? And that is AI fanfictions, or just where AI writes the book, and then the author just puts their name on top because they can't put ChatGPT as the author because, that'll just sound weird, or like artificial intelligence because, yeah. But like, I feel like it's being promoted sometimes by certain influencers where they go and take a fanfic, like they'll be like, hey, you guys ever wanted to read a book that is about this and this and this happens and these happens? Well, with this new AI fanfiction website, you can, and blah blah blah. And or where like just authors plainly just don't write the books, they just take AI, ask it to write the book, give them all the details, or maybe they just even ask them like, write this book for me, write this, write that, do this, do that, or just say like, hey, write a book, I just want it to be fantasy and I want to be cutesy, you can base it off on this popular book, and then they just send it and like, you're done. Like they do zero work and then this is what they get out of it. Like this is something where like artificial intelligence has its bonuses, it has its pros, it has its advantages, but this is not one of them because I can't believe that like we have come to the stage where people just feel like I should just get AI to write a story for me or promote AI to write what I want from it. Like it's just in these cases where I'm like, this is what we have come to, where we're just taking AI and like getting it to write everything. Like I could go on a whole rant about this because it just strictly annoys me. Like I feel like it has so many advantages. We could use AI to do so many things, but this is not one of those things that we should do out of it because, excuse me, you're just going out there and promoting a website or an app where you're like, yes, AI writes the story. You wanted this type of story? You can't find it anywhere. An author hasn't written it yet? Well, AI can write it and you can read it. Or let's just ask AI to write a story and then publish it and then we get like all the credit and shit like that. Like in so many of these cases, it just feels like you're not doing the work. We're just kind of like, we've stopped working and we're just like, yeah, let's get this robot to do the work for me because I can't be bothered to do it myself. Like in these cases, it just triggers me so much. I'm just like, why? Why would you go out there and just be like, yeah, I'm just going to get AI to do this and I'm going to get it to do that. And I don't know. It just purely annoys me so much. And like, there's so many great authors out in this world that have not been discovered. Some of them are such like unpopular, like they haven't been found by the bookish community, or like a very small amount of people know about them, and we are instead promoting books that could be written by AI. That's why just like I'm like when I hear about those authors where they, like I don't think at least I haven't been informed that I've read a book yet that has been strictly written by AI, and like in these cases, I'm really happy I haven't, because I wouldn't want to promote a book that wasn't written by a person, that put their whole soul and being into it. They just took something that something else wrote and set it as their own. Like in those cases, I just really hate AI. Like it has its advantages, but this is not one of them. Where it creates stories that you want to hear, fan fictions, or where it creates books and then just publishes them. That just annoys me. Like, I'm going to be repeating this a lot, but, like, so many authors deserve recognition for their books. So many authors that are underappreciated or just aren't known. And then instead, these AI stories are blowing up for no fucking reason. Well, I don't know if they've really blown up, but I've heard that there have been a few instances where authors haven't really written a book. It's AI that has written it. And this kind of leads me to the next one, which is virality over substance. Where books go viral that I feel like shouldn't. That I feel like are like, we're just taking these books that have zero substance, zero actual good things to it, and we're prioritizing that. We're bringing some books that are obviously not good and making them viral instead of actually reading good books. Like, it has happened with a few instances where books, like, I'm not saying this happens all the time, because some books that have become viral are for a good reason. They become viral because they are actually good. They were written beautifully. They had beautiful writing, beautiful storytelling, beautiful plot, beautiful substance, but there are some cases where books have gone viral for no apparent reason. Like, somebody said to them, like, hey, we'll give you this much if you promote our book. And also, it's like, sometimes books don't go also viral for the right reasons. Sometimes somebody reads it and it's so bad, and like they go on this whole tangent, so other people feel like they need to read it because it still gives the authors, like, not clarity. I forgot the word, but like people see them now. But like, I don't know how to explain it. But sometimes the books that go viral, I'm like, do they deserve it? But a lot of time, like, I don't know, some of the books that I've been reading that have been viral, I've really enjoyed so far. And a good example of that is Alchemized. It became really, really popular. I thought for a second it was like kind of out of the blue because I didn't know that was the same author as the fanfiction Manacled, but like, I think that was a good book that became viral. It wasn't a book that I thought like, oh, why are you here? Why are you viral? Why am I seeing you? So, there are the books that are good. And this is kind of like this specific point goes hand in hand with the next one, which is the same 5 books that are becoming popular. Because sometimes on BookTok specifically, these certain books that are literally exactly the same go viral. There's a certain like algorithm of books that always are circling around that go viral, or that are very similar that go viral. Like let's say you take a book that is like this very specific type, and then afterwards another book goes viral that is almost exactly the same, and it's just like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like the same exact 5 books that are just repeated over and over and over again. Yeah, I don't know what else to say except for that. Now, this next point also goes hand in hand with the how you read one, because this one is about like the obsession of buying accessories for Kindles and for physical books just to end up wasting money on things that don't actually work right, or don't actually like, that were just promoted for no reason. Some examples. Okay, some of these, like, I haven't tried them, so I can't say if they're purely bad or not. Though I have watched a few reviews where some people are like, I don't really like this. Some people think that they're amazing. Like, it's everybody with their own preference. But some of these, like, Kindle accessories or physical book accessories, I'm like, why are you here? Like, one that is, some accessories, first of all, that are good are book sleeves, because like obviously you don't want your book to be damaged. So I see the point in book sleeves. I have a book pouch, a little book bag. I use it not only to store my books or my Kindle. I sometimes, like, if I want a small bag, like if I'm going to the beach on vacation, I'll take that and then I'll stuff some other things. Perfect. I love that bag with my whole world. I probably need to wash it. That's a different point. But like another good thing, let me think. Obviously Kindle cases are absolutely insane, but like, there's these certain things. There was the what's it called, the big stand for the Kindle, and like the clicker with it. Like, I haven't tried it. It could be really good. I'm not trying to hate right now, because it could be a really good accessories that could clearly work for the better, but I haven't tried it, so I don't know about that one. There was another one. It keeps blanking out on me. Something that I do like, an accessory that I have that I personally really enjoy, is the pop socket on my Kindle. It's because I anyways get an indent some kind, but I used to always like, hold with my pinky. That's what's kind of holding it. Like, pretend this is my Kindle. This is how I'm holding it, with specifically my pinky, and my pinky would also have like a Kindle indent in it always. And like, as soon as I got my pop socket, I kind of enjoyed it more. For me, it's better at holding. Some people don't really like the pop socket, but I feel like that's something that is a personal preference. But some obsessions with buying these certain things, accessories, they just don't make sense. I need to find a certain one, and I blanked out on it. Oh yeah, I remember. These glasses that people get, and I feel like it probably causes more migraines. I don't think it's something good, but it's like these glasses that they have like a triangular effect that causes, like, if you look straight up here, you'd be looking actually down here. Like, that's how it kind of works. But I feel like for me, if I'd wear it, it causes me a migraine. And I watched a girl that like bought all sorts of accessories, and she bought that one, and she just said like, no, it was not comfortable. Like, people say, oh my god, you get a strain on your neck and your shoulders just like looking down like this. First of all, move your hand up, just done. Second of all, if you're just lying like this, I could not see how, first of all, that would be any better. And also, like, I feel like it would cause me a migraine. That is just one of the biggest, like, I feel like accessories or like things that people buy to make the whole idea of reading more cozy, more fun, and more just like less work and just your reading. But like, I feel like you can hold your head up fine. I don't know how to say it, but like, there's a lot of different like accessories that have gone viral, and it's just people trying to convince you to buy these certain things for no reason. Oh, another one. I remembered about this. It's like a bowl thing, right? And it's like pinky, and then it's inside, like, you can put snacks or some shit like that, and then it comes to a stand for a Kindle, right? Okay, first of all, let's say, like, balancing that on you kind of would annoy me. I'd rather just have a bowl on the side, and plus, like, somebody tried to put like a wine glass or just a glass of like some drink. Where would that fit? Like, first of all, I'd be scared out of my mind that all that snack and all of that would just flop onto me. Like, you do one wrong move, and I don't think it'd be just that comfortable personally. And you have to, like, I don't know if the bowl, you can take it out of the actual whole thing, but like, let's say you couldn't, how would you wash the bowl? It would just be dirty with grease. Like, let's say you take one day popcorn, another day chips, another day gummy bears in there, and it's just like, I don't know about that. Like, I feel like not very hygienic, that part, but I think you can, I'm pretty sure you can take the bowl out. That'd be weird if they wouldn't. But I don't know, let's say you don't even have a clicker for it. It's also kind of annoying. I don't know, like, at least when I'm reading, I shift a lot. Like, unless if I'm reading for 5 minutes, like, I'll sit still. But, like, if I'm reading for an hour or something or longer, I'll shift around. If I have my bed, I'll be, like, side to side, side to side. I won't sit still. If I'm sitting on a couch, I'm not going to sit still. Like, I watch a show with my mom. I'll first eat the popcorn out of a bowl and it's usually next to me or on my lap. But like I'll shift from here and there. Reading on my Kindle, I feel like first of all it'd be a heavy setup. Like it's holding a lot of different things. I feel like shifting every time would just be uncomfortable. I don't know how that would really work for the better. Though I did almost get influenced from buying that, but I didn't. Alright, there's that. Next, another thing that goes with the obsession of buying things, but that isn't. I don't think this happens to a lot of people. Sometimes people just do that because they want to, and it's your money. You do whatever you want, but it's where like you're collecting books rather than reading. Where people will just collect books, go to a bookstore, buy 20 books or more. They'll come home and like maybe read one. Like I usually don't buy a lot of books, or they just buy like different, 20 different editions of the same book, right? Like I have currently one edition of every book except for Shatter Me. That's where I got a special edition because I was very excited about that one, and it was only €20, which for me is like a good price. Like for me, special editions, I've seen people going crazy with like 100, 200. There was one book. Like I saw this actually not too long ago. I don't remember from what series it was, what book it was, but I saw it and I saw the special edition. I was like, that is absolutely beautiful. I searched it up and it's like $500 and I'm like, what? Like for me, that is so expensive. If it's one book, nah. Like maybe if I was a millionaire or something, maybe I'd go buying it, but like otherwise, where, how? Sometimes yeah, but like also specifically like fine if you buy special edition, if you have the money for it, it's your money, you can buy it, no problem. I'm not going to shame you for it. I'm going to be a bit jealous, but I'm not going to shame you for it because it's your money. You're still surviving, right? So you're still eating, you still have all your basic necessities that you need in life. Go buy it. But sometimes people just prioritize buying the books rather than reading them. They'll buy a billion books, but they won't be reading for like 2 months, and then they'll go and read one and then done. And it's not that they're in something, they just buy books for the aesthetic of buying. Like it's just that. Next, we have this next point that I feel like I've seen quite a bit on the internet, where like, and it just sometimes so annoys me because this community is supposed to be such a beautiful one, but then people start judging others for what they read. Like, I don't know how to feel about that. Like our whole book community is based on sharing each other. Like, obviously, everybody's gonna have their own opinion. It's not just with reading, it's with everything. It's with clothing styles, it's with movie preferences, it's with show preferences, it's with everything. Like, the whole point is that we are human. We have each our own opinion. If we had the same opinion, we would be boring. And, like, it's totally fine for other people to have opinion. It's totally fine for one person to love a book and then another person to absolutely hate it and think that it's crap. But then when we start judging others on it, we're like, how the fuck did you rate that 5 stars? That was so clearly, like, a negative. Like, every time you see it, you should be almost wanting to puke on it. Like, sometimes people judge each other's from what we read, but, like, at the same time, can you really judge? Look at yourself. You rated that a 1 star when everybody loved it. Like, I feel like so many times, like, we're only human, and so, like, you can't go around judging others. I mean, like, yeah, you rated this much. You said this book was this. And then you go judging them. But, like, as long as they're not going and bashing the book and, like, being super mean about the author, and then they stop reviewing the actual book and they just base it off on the fact that, like, this author is actually really racist. This author is really this. Well, if they're racist, then that's a totally different thing. But, I mean, like, let's say they take, like, a personal experience and they just bring it into their review. Then that just, like, that's a very different. Like, I can, like, as long as they're at least sort of respectful to the author when they're reviewing a book that they really hated, I don't see reason to bash on them for how much they rated it or their review on it, because everybody has their own, like, thoughts on it. But, like, of course, if they're bringing in somebody, like, if they're bringing in the author and, like, maybe the author wrote about something and they're like, ugh, they clearly went through nothing, and, like, it's so clearly a story about them, like, you can't really go judging because that's, I don't know, like, sometimes it just you bring personal feelings into it. I mean, the author's life story into it, and that's sometimes a bit too much. But, like, sometimes we judge people for what they read, and that's just not the greatest thing ever, because we created this community to bond over our books, bond over shared interests, not to judge each other for what we do, for what we read, Next, this one I feel like is very controversial. Like, I don't think there is really a thing as this, but it is over-annotating. I've seen sometimes where I see, like, annotations where they're so beautiful, but then sometimes I see people where they have a tab, like 10 tabs on one page, and every page. So, like, they use maybe, like, 10 stacks of annotation strips, and they're annotating every single sentence. And that sometimes it's like, why? Like, I feel like, obviously, how everybody annotates is very subjective. It's very different. Every person annotates very differently. Some people are more aesthetic about it. They more maybe draw doodles on the margins. maybe like on the cover, not the actual cover, but the paper cover after. I don't know what it's called, but like or just as the title and the author, like people go doodling on it, and that's super cute. And I personally, like, I wish I could go do that, but I'm usually too lazy to. But yeah, some people are more very strict about it, where they're like, I go for the quotes that are beautiful, I go for the quotes that are meaningful, and like, very clear. So like everybody has their own way. There's always people in the middle. There's always like those. That's sort of me. Sometimes I have a random doodle. Sometimes I say like, oh my god. Sometimes I just highlight. Because for me, I feel like the quote is very self-explanatory. There's all different kinds of people, but sometimes there's the thing of over-annotating, where you're just like, you're highlighting every single sentence, you're highlighting every single thing, and I'm like, the point of annotating is showing what you believe is important. Like, obviously, every sentence matters, but in some cases, it's just like, where are you going with it? But I'm not trying to judge people, because everybody annotates very differently, so, it's their own thing. And now we are coming to our last point. I actually have no idea how long I've been talking, so if my camera shut off already by this point, then I'm sorry. But last thing I wanted to talk about is smut over spice, where I talked about this in my first point about romantasy, where like, okay, yeah, my camera just left us, but pretty much smut over spice. There's this whole idea about this where there's a difference between smut over spice, because smut is one thing and a spice is something totally different. Smut is when it's just purely there for no reason. Sometimes it's very, very, very spicy. It's very, very graphic, can be like, there's a difference between the two. Some people think that it's just two different words for the same idea, but it really isn't. It's totally two different things. Spice can like refer to like the amount like of sexual content that is inside of a book, while smut is specifically how like when a book is like centered mainly on that type of content, where it can come to a point where the actual plot is very, very minimal. Maybe the plot is literally smut just. There's that difference, right? And I feel like sometimes people take it out of context and they think that they're the same thing, where a smutty book and a spicy book are just the same idea, but it isn't, because spice can range. It can range from like where there's very non-explicit scenes to some that are explicit, but they're like maybe once or twice in the book, But smut is like when it happens a lot, and I don't know. I feel like sometimes people like, first of all, judge each other for what they read, and like going back to the judging people for what they read, I feel like we shouldn't, because every person likes their own book, likes to read their own thing. So there's obviously that, but I don't know, guys. It's just there's this whole thing about it. But yeah, that's everything for me, guys. I don't know what else to say, but this is everything I really wanted to talk about. We've talked about every point that I felt needed to be discussed. We've talked about romantasy. We talked about where people are romanticizing reading. We talked about where people create something very aesthetic. The whole AI thing, which honestly, guys, I would create a whole video about it with specific instances if you guys would like that. Same with where people are judging for others for like what they read, and for reviews, because some reviews are very, very brutal that I've seen on the internet, specifically now that I've been like going viral. Some that have been going viral like maybe 2-3 months ago too. So there's always that, and everything else we've gone over. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment down below if you guys would like any other videos like these. And I forgot to say this earlier, but also, guys, happy Bookmas Day 1, and we are here for the soft launch of Bookmas 2025. So I hope you enjoy the next 9 days ahead for you, because I'm only doing 10 days of Bookmas. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to get tired by the end of this. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. So yeah, bye.